Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We have a lot to actually talk about in regards to AMC as well as the broader markets, because holy moly, markets are falling big time. You're getting a fear move for sure today. You're actually seeing it in the bonds as well as gold. Both of these asset classes are getting destroyed. I think this is very important to pay attention to, especially as we head into this weekend, because ultimately there's a reason why this is happening, okay? And we're going to get into it here in this video. At the same time, AMC stock is green. Yeah, that's probably the craziest part about all of this. AMC stock is actually green as the markets are getting pretty destroyed, okay? So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comments section. So that's the first thing I want to start with, is what in the world is going on today. Definitely seeing a bit of that fear move. If you take a look at even KRE, the regional bank ETF, KRE is down almost 3% today. Nobody wants to own the regional banks, like, at all, and you're definitely seeing it here today. Some of those earnings were pretty rough last night and this morning for some of those regionals. Now TLT is up 0.65%. It's not the craziest up move, but you are getting some money going into bonds, so that is relieving some of the interest rate pressures for right now. Although you're still sitting at 4.9% on the 10-year treasury, you're still pretty close to where we were yesterday. Yesterday, you did hit 5% on the 10-year treasury, and that was not good. Now, this risk on move we've seen lately, where investors just really don't want to own the bonds, that's been the thing that has really been pushing the markets down probably the most. You could also say this Israel conflict has also not been helping, but it's really been affecting gold. So gold has been really the asset here over the last couple of weeks that has went up a lot. If you bought gold down here when this conflict first started, on like October 9th was the first day, you could actually trade it. You've done pretty dang well. Okay, gold is up another 1% today. So you have seen this risk off, this fear move every single day, pretty much since this has started. Yeah, pretty much every single day. I think there's one green day or one red day on gold since then, two actually, and they were very, very small. But these moves in gold are just big. This is a lot of money flowing into gold. Again, bonds tend to be assets in which people buy when there's fear, and they haven't been buying them recently. Yesterday, you hit a new low on the TLT, the 20-year treasury ETF. Today, you're up about 0.60%. We want to see that continue to go higher for bond yields to go lower if you are a bull in this market. It's very hard for stocks to rally when treasuries are sitting at 5+%. So that's important. Now, if we take a look at the dollar DXY, you're pretty much flat on the day, so you're not getting a fear move there. You're not seeing all too much happening with the dollar. USO is pretty flat on the day as well. Let's go ahead and refresh this just to make sure we have the most up-to-date chart. Yep, and oil is pretty flat on the day. Oil lately has been getting a bid too, really ever since this conflict broke out, and that's because, I mean, if it does get worse, this Israel conflict, well, it's going to affect oil, and oil's probably going to go higher. So in a weird way, that's kind of a hedge. So there you have that. That's kind of what's going on today. Now, the reason for this is obviously the situation over in Israel. We don't have a lot of new updates. Hasn't been a lot that has came out today. But we definitely have gotten a lot of clashes with Hezbollah as well as Israel on the north side of the country. I think it's really escalating fears that you are going to get a broader conflict here. And it looks like any time now Israel could actually make its way into Gaza. And that's when you actually get the stop clock that starts, right? That's when you really need to be watching this situation, because that's when other entities, Hezbollah or Iran or anyone else really, would likely get into this conflict. It's not right now. It's when that actual incursion does start. So that's not good. Even Russia's Ministry of Foreign Affairs released a travel alert for the Middle East today, stating that Russian nationals should currently avoid any travel to Israel, Lebanon, Jordan, or the Palestinian territories. Yeah, if Russia's saying that, that's obviously not the best situation to be in, okay? So for good reason, the markets are a little bit fearful here today. NASDAQ down about 1.4%. S&P is down about 1%. Now, we really don't have much that is happening today for AMC stock as far as news, but AMC did confirm their earnings for November 8th. So this article says, Dear AMC stock fans, mark your calendars for November 8th. The results, or the owners of AMC stock, will get a better picture of the company's status when the company reports its Q3 results on November 8th. And it says, during the update, the company will likely provide investors with more information about its movies starring Taylor Swift and Beyonce. The owners of AMC stock will also receive more information about the company's balance sheet. If we go down here, what are the estimates? So analysts on average expect AMC to report $1.23 billion of revenue and a loss per share of 27 cents. For Q3 of 2022, the company generated a loss per share of $1.94 and revenue of $961 million. So obviously AMC's movie business has recovered a great deal since last year. However, AMC generated revenue of more than $5 billion in 2019, while analysts' mean estimate calls for the company to report sales of $4.79 billion for 2023. And of course, there has been a great deal of inflation over the last 4 years. Meanwhile, Swift's movie, Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour, generated $95 million to $97 million in domestic sales in its opening weekend, easily becoming the most successful concert movie ever from a financial perspective. However, the movie's performance fell well short of most bullish forecasts of $150 million for the opening weekend. On November 8th, AMC will provide more information about the revenue generated by the movie in the US and overseas. Beyonce's movie, called Beyonce Renaissance World Tour, is due to open on December 1st. AMC may provide more information about the pre-sale of tickets for that movie. And then the balance sheet issues. That's something that investors are going to pay pretty close attention to. As of the last quarter, AMC had $4.5 billion of net debt. In August, Aaron had warned that the company was facing potentially severe liquidity hurdles. Last month, AMC raised $325 million through selling AMC stock. The company will likely provide an update for investors on November 8th regarding additional steps that it's taking to improve its balance sheet. AMC stock is AMC stock is in the green today by about 2% in early trading. It is, however, still down 69% year to date. Now, this is something I really want to highlight. I do think AMC stock is about to rip faces off, guys. Okay? That's just the honest truth. AMC is going to rip faces off of the shorts. A couple different reasons for this. Like I've said all the time, if you look at the put-to-call ratio is falling off of a dang cliff. It's been falling off the cliff. It's at 0.75. This is basically where you were at before this court proceeding started, in which you actually seen big rallies with AMC stock. You actually seen those rallies. Well, you haven't seen those since. And a lot of people, including myself, were a little surprised in this. But hindsight's 2020. When you look at the put to call ratio and where it was, it was hard for AMC stock. AMC stock was struggling because there was so many puts just constantly being hammered on AMC. It didn't matter how we were buying, right? Or how many shares we were buying, or anyone was buying for that matter. When there was that many puts being bought on AMC, there was just nothing anyone could do. And that sentiment has flipped. Take a look at this trade that we're looking at here on screen. December 15th, a $20 call worth $36,000. Now, I know it's not a huge amount of money, but it's a December 15th $20 call. It's not close to the money. It's way out the money. It's a more than double from here. It's like 150% from here. That's telling you something. People are pretty dang bullish in some of these positions that we are seeing. And that's all of the, option activity today. One order totaling about $36,000, positive order value of 100%. If you take a look at the activity as well, for even next week, the volume is 64.5% calls, puts 35.5% for the total volume. Basically, it looks like this on every single expiration. Specifically, November 17th, volume today, 73% calls. Put volume is about 27%. So you're definitely getting a lot of people that are getting some bullish positioning for the next couple of weeks, really the next couple of months. If you look at the Stock O tracker data, you do have calls in the money for today of 32,436, calls out the money 171,000, puts in the money 22,000, puts out the money 104,000. And then basically next week you have double the amount of calls out the money compared to puts out the money, and you do have more calls in the money than puts in the money, about 9,000 calls in the money and about 7,000 puts currently in the money. The week after that, same story. The week after that, same story. The week after that, same thing. Week after that, same thing. Basically, as far as you can see, at least until March 15th of 2024, you have a lot more calls than puts on the option chain. And I think that does set you up for a big rally. Like, we're not talking about a $2-3 rally. We're talking about a $10, $20, $30 rally potentially. That's what I think is in the cards here for AMC stock. Now, even through all of this fear so far, AMC stock has held up very well. Even today, again, AMC stock, now it's slightly green. Now it's down 0.21%. The Nasdaq's currently down 1.18%. AMC stock was up a couple percent today. That's just a lot different than what you see in any other stock right now. That's just way, way different to obviously the good side, right? That's exactly what you want to see. So I do think it's literally only a matter of time here. Obviously, we want to get an update from AMC. We want to hear good things coming on earnings. That could be it, especially if we were to get some kind of surprise profit or something along those lines, something in which we just haven't, been able to organically react to. Last time that the AMC reported a profit, you had this court situation going on. So we just were unable to, make a rally. Right? I think the stock was up like 1% when AMC recorded its first profit in years. That was BS, dude. AMC stock should have been up 20+%, but that obviously did not happen. I think the biggest wild card here is this Israel situation, especially as we head into the weekend. As we head into the weekend, if you do get bad news, if something happens, well, stocks are not going to like that. Stocks are not going to react positively to that. And it's the weekend, so you will not be able to react to it. So I do think if you have any hedges out there, if you do have any, positioning out there, I mean, you definitely need to have it by the end of the day today. I do like personally hedging out the portfolio here. I think that is definitely the best way to be in this market right now. I don't want to sell anything. I don't want to, get rid of any bullish positioning, but I definitely want to have some form of hedges. That could be, buying gold. That could be, even to a lesser degree, buying bonds. That could be buying puts. That could be shorting if that's your cup of tea. But This weekend is definitely going to be an important one to be watching. Take a look at the Ortex data here. You have a short score of 58, $139.5 million worth of short positions, 7.54% estimated short interest of free float out on loan at 10.58%, shares out on loan about 21 million, days to cover 1.11, cost to borrow 1.33%, and utilization of 47.13%. So the numbers definitely don't look all too exciting, but you have to take them with a grain of salt. I think it's pretty clear, like Ortex is estimating right here, estimated live short interest of free float. It's not 7.59%. I think that's complete BS. I think you really cannot listen to that number whatsoever. Short interest is likely over 20%, even still accounting for the dilution that we have gotten. And that's simply because we just don't have clarity on these short positions. There's a lot of ways to cover up short positions via using those options, or just blatantly not reporting them as well. That's also, possible. Now, Ortex is estimating about 15.02 million shares that are currently sold short. Cost to borrow average 1.53%, cost to borrow max 2.73%, and cost to borrow minimum 1.12%. So not the most exciting numbers here, but again, take them with a huge truckload of salt. And if you take a look at the bond yields today, like we said, TLT was going higher a little bit. It's currently up 0.63%. That means bond yields are going lower. 30-year Treasury yield is lower by about 2.5 basis points. The one that is really important, your 10-year Treasury, is down by about 7.5 basis points, coming off of that high that we set yesterday, right at about 5%, now at 4.91%. To get a rally in this market, you probably want to see Treasury yields come down a lot more than what they already have, guys. So that is going to go ahead and do it for this video. That's really everything you need to know. There was no data today. There was really no Fed speakers, really nothing. I think investors are just positioning for the next stage ahead in the markets, and it looks like it's probably going to be downwards. So that's going to do it for this video. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.